The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Death. Something the citizens of Shady Acres knows too well. Due to an unknown disease rapidly progressed by the city's expansion rate, and left with nothing else to do, the citizens take to the streets. They rush to the transportation center to take buses to the Chirp X Space Center. Large lines queue for the citizens' chance to escape the planet. The Chirp X Space Center, the last hope, is a place housing the space rocketing program. The city's survival, or even the planet's survival, relies on the Chirp X's Kerbal Space Program to teach us how to fly across the stars. With the help of SpaceX Kerbal Space Program, we will first learn how to fly a rocket. Next, we will learn how to fly in lower planet orbit before continuing to full planet orbit. After learning orbit travel, we only have one more thing to do: space travel. Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we are playing Kerbal Space Program. If you look at the top of the screen, we have 555 science. And when we ended the stream, we had less than 100. So what I did, as I told you guys I was going to eventually do, is I drove around trying to collect as much science as I can from the Kerbal biomes. And last night I spent like 3 hours just going back and forth through our main area. Didn't go into any other biomes, just went to all the different buildings in this area. And I had to do it 2 or 3 times to get all the science, and I still did not get all of the science for this entire area. So we could drive around once to see if I can finish getting all the science, because for surface samples, I only need to go to 2 buildings in here, in the research and development area. I have to go to the central building, which I think is this. And then I have to go to the R&D small lab, which I think is this side. Only once for surface sample. And then we also need to do Science Juniors and Goo in almost every biome area in this place. A lot of it is all research and development, space plane hangar, tracking station and its other 4 biomes within it. And then the Goo and Science Junior for the flag. I did the surface sample completely for that. But we have to go back because I made a slightly new rover just to make it a little bit more quicker to speed up. It's not very much different than what you guys have seen. If I load it, we last looked at this Land Rover as the Mark III. So it's nothing special. It has a little ant rocket which really doesn't boost it at all. It's pretty much the same speed as speeding up with the wheels. Or it does help me speed up, but it doesn't go past 10 meters per second on ground. And then we have this nose. If I load the one that I made yesterday, the Mark IV, I took off the nose because I found that when I'm doing this science, if I can get the very front of the plane to touch the buildings, I can get the science for the Goo and the Science Junior from those buildings. So that's the reason why I still haven't finished them all, because I went to more buildings and had to do the Science Junior and the Goo for them, which we didn't do on stream before. We only did the EVA and the surface samples. That's the reason why that's not completed towards the science. And then I also tried testing out if I put more wheels, do I go faster as like a top speed? I found out no. The top speed for this is still roughly 10 to 12 meters per second, but the more wheels I added on, the quicker I got up to that speed. And then I also added the next size engine, which is the Spark liquid fuel engine. And that does get us up to quite a bit of speed. I think the max that I've seen it go up to, because I wasn't trying to go max speed just to test it out, the fastest that I've allowed it to go up to was 30 something meters per second. But since I wasn't trying to do a speed test and see how fast it was going, I didn't pay attention to exactly what number. I just know that it was between 30 and 40 meters per second. Most of the time I just keep it between 20 and 30, just so that I can get to this building quicker from the runway. Okay, and then aside from that, we have... If I go back in here, like I said, we have a Moonhopper lander all the way here on Minmus. It is on one of the frozen lakes. We had so much issue with this and making it explode that we did not do any signs as far as this save file goes. So when we go back to it, we have to do signs from right here, and then there's at least 2 more biomes here. It's hard to see a separation with these 2 biomes, but there's at least 2 here, and I should probably have that pulled up as well. Give me just a few seconds while I pull this up. We're going to first do the Kerbin biomes. The expanded... No, I don't need that expanded. I just need the picture pulled up. If I do this here, that gives me 1 tab. You guys aren't going to see this, but I have 1 tab for the main area, or KSP Center. I have another tab open for all the biomes on this globe, and then I'm going to open 1 more tab for Minmus. And I have to make sure to use the correct map, because we learned the last time I looked at Minmus that I used the biome map of KSP2. What is the difference between these 2 maps here? Oh, the pole is actually colored, and I like this color a little bit more. Instead of everything being blue washed. That's actually easier to read. Okay, so where I was saying before on Minmus that there was at least 2 biomes, there is 3. But one of them is a little bit difficult to get. Now if I go back, that color seems to be slopes. Defining slopes is going to be a little difficult. Why does my... Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try and get as much science as we can. Just 1 run with this. Aside from that, we're going to go back to the lander. Go back to our biome. What's the first thing I have to go to? I have to go all the way over to the research and development area, but I also need to do the flag. And the flag was difficult to get to unless I broke one of my... Because the height of the wheel here is the same height as the flag. So what I'm going to do is we are going to edit this ever so slightly just for this run. We're not going to save it afterwards. But what I want to add is a landing gear right here. I'm going to press C. And then I want this to start retracted. We're going to fly this. Hopefully it doesn't start upside down. I didn't rotate it first. I don't know how this is going to work. It started upside down. Okay. Let's flip that back over. Now what that landing gear is going to do, obviously it's going to push the front end up, and that should allow us to get onto the flagpole. I am going to test it by pressing G. First thing I'm going to do is U, and then G. Yep, that does exactly what I thought it would. And then I should still be able to drive with that, which I can. Yeah, let's put that back down. Okay, so flagpole is right there. The R&D is pretty much all these buildings in the background. And then we have the tracking station, which is even further behind. So I'm just going to go straight this way towards the flag. I should probably also get the engine ready. So that's full throttle. Once we go down the ramp, I'm going to speed up more. Using the engine, I mean, not just going down the ramp. Now again, I only go to about 20 meters per second. That's a decent speed going across here since it is a lot closer than I expect it to be every time. And then all I do to slow down is I hold B and the S button, which would make us go in reverse. Make us slow down a lot quicker than doing just one or the other. We might lose a wheel. Whoa. That actually made me jump. We lost 2 of our front wheels. So we're a little front heavy now, but that actually should help us in getting the flagpole. So that was not intentional to make the wheels break up. But now if I press G, should be able to get on top. Let's use this. There we go. And then this is close enough to be considered touching. So if I press 1, there's going to be a lot of things that don't get any signs. That's the flagpole for the material study, the science junior. And then we can skip the next 3, and the goo is the next thing. Did I get surface sample here? I did. So we do have to come back here one more time for science junior. Or also, we don't have the scientist. Let's recover this. We get a tiny amount of science. I'm not really going to pay attention to it. We got maybe 2 science from that whole thing. And what I need to make sure is to have Sandbus Kerbin, because we have our 1 scientist on Minmus. I had to hire a 2nd scientist. We're here. Now this 2nd scientist is going to help us later on when we have a space station, which we are going to make at some point. I don't know if we're going to make it this stream because we're going to end up spending quite a lot of time just doing Minmus flybys or fly around. So let's try this one more time without exploding. I am going to get us going a little bit faster down this ramp. We shouldn't explode the wheels down here because I don't think we explode for more than 10 meters per second. That was 10. I am curious to see how fast this can go, like what its top speed is, but I also don't want to test it out right now. But we could. Alright, I'm going to start slowing down. Because again, I don't know exactly what our top speed going up this ramp is. Let's just go to about 10 meters. There. What, Tori? What do you want? Why does that make me jump every time? And that was our front wheels again. Okay. So we're just gonna cruise on over to the flagpole. Let's put our landing gear out so we can get up there. We might need to use the rocket again to get up here. I'm not sure. Yeah, we do. Alright. Let's slowly move us back, get us aimed at the flagpole. If I put the landing gear down, this should still count as being there. Because the front of this is on the flagpole. If I press 1 again, we do get the material study and the goo from here. I should be able to cross that off the list for both of them. We are going to recover the vehicle now. Need that last amount of science for it. And then we are going to check to make sure that I got all the science from it, because there might be one more chance that I can do it again. So if we go into here, the archives of the science tree, click on Kerbin, click on goo, and then if we click on any of the biomes down here, it makes it to being surface landed only. And then I can click on flagpole. And if we could get more science, it would have a data value right here. Like if I go down to, since this is the GU, the R&D central building, we can do the central building one more time, and then that's pretty much all the science. This isn't a lot of science to recover, which is why it's not too important. A lot of people would probably stop doing it at this point. And then it's the same for other buildings. We're going to go back into the space plane hangar. We're going to take that landing gear off. We don't need it anymore. We should still have the new Kerbin, which we do. And let's fly it. Ori is going after the little crumbs on the blanket. So, right now, we are going to stay here. We're gonna not go down the ramp this time. You know, if I take my hands off, how fast can we go? Let's do one test to see how fast this engine takes us. That's 30 meters per second. I doubt it's strong enough to make us go to a takeoff speed, which would be around 60, depending on the weight. We got to 50. And at this speed, it's hard to keep me going straight because it's tilting the Land Rover. Are we gonna make it to 70, really? I expected us to explode. That can make it up to 70 meters per second. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that ahead of time. So with the weight of this Land Rover, we could actually take off. But anyway. We're just gonna go to about 20 meters per... You know, let's go to 30, because we have quite a distance to make up here. That's almost 30, that's close enough. Now we do have to do something here. We have to do goo. At the main building, the space plane hangar main building, and the two tanks right here. This tank and that one. So since we are going to drive past it, we might as well turn around. Whoa! Well, I didn't think I was spinning quick enough to flip us over. That's my bad. Do this one more time. That is the troubles of playing the game and talking about it at the same time. And Tori's gone back to eating her food instead of begging for treats. Okay, so we are here. We have to do these 3 buildings. Slow down. Hopefully not flip this as I turn. Turn the lights on. Now, I do not have to do surface samples anywhere except for the R&D buildings. So we are not going to be doing it here. But I do like to drive onto this, because it allows the entire rocket to be considered on here at the tank. And that should be all the science for the Science Junior, and it's going to be the same amount for the goo. So that should be something I can cross off the list for both of those 2 buildings. And that would be probably tanks. I didn't pay attention to which one was taken. So I am going to press 3 now so that it all gets put in here. And then we turned the brakes off. But what I need to do is now pin these up here so we can restore them quicker to next. and then get back in. And then we can just drive off here. This being longer with more wheels also helps with going away from places. And this is the one that gives me the most trouble, trying to get on these tanks. So we're just going to cruise on over. I did notice that as long as I'm going below 5 meters per second as I go to hit a building, we do not explode. I like to go to 3 meters per second and then worry about it. Okay, no kaboom. I, again, do not need to do a surface sample here, so it's just 1. We get the material study, we get the goo, and we collect it all. And we are doing the temperature and the barometer every time we do this. That's just in case I missed one of them earlier in. That should be it for the main building. We just need to go to the round tank. And I found out that I have to do it from this tube, but on the right side of it. And I kind of have to time it right and at the right speed to get up on this ramp, because it's only going to be one side of this vehicle. And then I have to brake while we're on it and kind of quickly do this because we're slowly falling off of the tank. That's it. I don't have to do an EVA here. But what I am going to do is take us off our brakes so we actually do start going back. And then just restore these and get back in. Okay. And next thing we're doing is all the R&D buildings. So we don't have to go over here ever again. We just have to go to the... No, that's the VAB. That's R&D. And I just have to go to every building at least one more time. Let's give us all a little more speed. Slow there. So we have 9 different things here. The first thing I'm going to do is go to this building right here, which should be R&D main building. I'm going a tad bit too quick here. If I press 1, we should see R&D main building. I do not need to do a surface sample here. I need to go to the central building, which is to our right. It's the big building right here. And then I also need to do R&D at the small lab, which is right here. So, take this off. Did I press 3 just to make sure? Yes, I did. Restore, restore, get back in. Right over to here, do all of our signs. This time we're actually going to be using the ladder. And an easier way that you could do this is by making a rocket that you just, hop from one building to another and land on the roof. I don't do that. That should be all the signs for that, and we also have to get out. Now, I actually did notice that if I grab and just stay up here, that I can do a surface sample even though I'm not touching the ground, and it still counts so long as the vehicle is touching the building. Now, it does look like I have to come back here one more time for surface sample, which is unfortunate because it's trying to avoid that. If I press 2, press 3 to collect all the signs, stuff that I just get out, you can restore the... That's it for that. I do that just to slow me down, get me started going forward. We have over here, this should be central building, which it is. That's all the signs from the Go and Junior, and if I do an E, surface sample. That might be all the science. I think there's a little, like 0.1 that it might say is still recoverable. But we're obviously not going to come back here for 0.1. We are going to come back for the small lab. Because that is, in a way, needed. Get out of here. We're going to keep going to the right. Because we have side lab right here. And then right below it, or I guess that way, would be the observatory. That's another. Should probably also note that turning slows us down quite a bit. Get our science from here. We do not need to do surface sample anymore. So from here on out, we are only getting out to reset the containers. And then that is still part of the side lab. We need to go further over. We'll see that the building does break apart at some point. I think this counts as the observatory here. It does. We could this and then spin around. And just aim straight for this building. And then 1, 3, collect all of it, get out, close, close, get back in. And we're out of here. And then the next building is... Why am I not going forward? Oh, because it's nighttime. I ran out of power. Alright, let's see which way. Are we going into the sunlight or are we going out of it? I think we're going out. We are going out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spend some time right here where the rocket is, and I'm just going to speed up time. Now it's not speeding up very quickly because we are moving. If I just press, we'll be able to. Now I'm just going to keep going until we're in sunlight so that we can actually get battery power. Now we are in a shadow, so we probably still are not gaining power. We are not. But what I can do is use the booster instead. I don't know why I want to... Nothing there. But the moment I get to a point where this considers to be what we need right here. This is a building. As soon as we get to a point where it's considered being in sunlight, we'll be able to get more power. And then we'll be fine. We're probably going to have to use the rocket to get up here. Wow, is the engine not strong enough to get us up without back more? Okay, this should be tanks of some sort. R&D tanks. That's all for that. Press 1. Get out. Restore. Get back in. We are getting a bit of power, so I should be able to just slowly spin us around because we're using power quicker than we're gaining it. Slowly getting forward. That should be enough to safely get us down this ramp. It's steeper than the other one. Or maybe it's not. It's odd. Is there 2 buildings right here? No, this is all wind tunnel. trying to keep as much electrical charge as I can. Which I ended up using all of it just to make sure that I was pushed against the building. But again, the usual signs. Press 3 to collect it, get out, restore it, get back in, and we're fine. Fortunately, I do have to ever so slowly back up. Just ran out of power. Now we did main building. We did central building. We did not do the R&D main area, which I might not even have to do because I don't think I have it written down anywhere. I did have it written down, and I do have it completed, so we don't actually have to do it just randomly. The last place we have to go to is this corner lab right here. And this really does not gain power quickly. I also never noticed that the satellite dishes move. That's neat. I don't know what they move to. We could probably gain something by having more solar panels on here. Oh, if I turn off the lights, we also won't battery for. We do still use all of my battery. Just trying to make. Okay, collect all that and get out. Restore it all. Get back in. And ever so slowly back up, I hope. No, we do not have enough power. So if I keep us going until we start gaining. Mind you, Bob is stuck on Minmus this entire time. Why did that take this time? Oh, I think every time I change maps, it takes my throttle all the way down or something. Aside from that, I have no other reason why my throttle would be put to 0. I've done everything from the VAB area for sure. I am checking to make sure. I did. So the last place we have to go to is the tracking station, which is 4 biomes over here. I shouldn't have to do the main area. No, I just have to do the 3 dishes and the actual building. The dishes are a little bit difficult for me to get because I have to aim the door and the goo on the right side of the dishes ramp because we can't stay on the ramp with how sloped it is. And I also can't stop on it because we slide off it after some time. So I'm going slow on purpose so that we don't blow up a wheel as we hit this. But I also need to go up it, press 1 while we're touching it. This is the north dish. Get out while it's moving. Actually, no, we need to collect it all first. Then get out. Back in. And now we do the building here, and then we do 2 other dishes. And that's it. So this is a ramp, so I have to brake while I'm... Get all of our signs from that. Press 3. We can take the brakes off now so we start moving backwards. 4, B. Give us a little bit of boost. And then we're just doing the same thing for over here. And I'm going to slow down because it seems like as long as I was below 5 meters per second, I at least did not explode one of the wheels. But if we lose a wheel, that's not too bad. We're all the way at the end of what we're doing. I just climb up here a little and press 1. Hopefully not over. That is all the science. Point us in the direction of the next 3 EVA. Restore, get back in. Give us a little bit of boost to get over there quicker. And start breaking us because we're too fast now. And then we do have to go back for 2 buildings from what I remember. So we're gonna have to do another launch because you can't collect science from the same place twice in one launch. Even if you have 2 different science juniors, they're only considered for situations. So if we were flying, we could do a science junior over top of the same thing and get more science from flying. But you can't be on the ground and do a science junior and get double the science from this one lane place. The same thing goes for when you're flying. You can't do 2 science juniors and get all the science while flying. Unless you do a second flight. We're going to recover all this. It's probably going to be less than 50 science because everything was like 0.5 or something. But it could be more than 50, who knows. So we gained a total of 10.6 science. But like I expected, that wasn't going to be much, but it's worth getting, because who knows, maybe that 10 science would be useful. So, I am now going to go through, make sure that I did everything. So as you can see, there's definitely more places to go to, but I am only focused on certain places. If I click on the landed, I'm not sure why it doesn't show me the biomes for this. So I can't like click on the biome and look for it. Everything is alphabetical on the other hand. So if I just go down to R&D, we need R&D Central. That's done, so I'm going to cross that off. And R&D Small Lab. That is not done. Did I not do a surface sample for the small lab? I got out at the central building. Wait, no, that was the other thing that I needed to go to. I think I got out at side lab, not small lab. So I'll have to go back to that at least one more time. That's not too bad. And then goo, I should be able to do biomes. For some reason it's not showing me the biomes. I'm not sure why. Because I didn't click on Kerbin first? That's why. That's fair. So, this is goo, right? Oh, this is pressure scan. Why am I on pressure? Okay. R&D Central. We have that. Corner lab. That's done. Main building. That's done. Observatory. That's done. Side lab. That's done. Small lab. That's done. Oh, now I remember. The surface sample, I have to go back to the small lab because that wasn't completed before the stream. That it wasn't down to just being one. Anyway, R&D tanks is done. Wind tunnel is done. And then we go all the way down to spaceplane hangar. That's the main building. Ground tank is done. Other tanks are done. Skip the next few things. This dish east is done. So is north and south. And the hub is done. The last thing I didn't cross off was flagpole, but that's all the way at the top. And that is done. So, goo is completely done. Material study now. Flagpole, that's done. And then we just have to go down the same things that we were doing before. This is pretty much copying the goo, because the why is this side? That is side. The Science Junior, the surface sample, and the goo have to be done either 3 or 4 times. Welcome in, first time chatter. we are going over the science that we just completed to make sure that I didn't miss anything within the main area. So I wrote down everything that we had to go to before streaming, and I'm just crossing it off now. So I'm only focused about the current data. I don't care if this bar is completely full because it's going to be less than 0.1 or 0.01 if it says that there's not a full bar. Okay, and then all the way down to the 3 dishes and the hub. Done, done, done. That's all completely done. So, I only need to do one more launch going to the R&D small building, small lab, for a surface sample, and then we are done with Kerbin for this stream. The rest of the science I will be again doing off stream for Kerbin, because we've already done every biome here. I'm not gonna make you guys, wait around as I fly around the globe multiple times, since we'll have to visit the different biomes at least 3 more times guaranteed. Because the goo, I think you have to do 4 times before you completely collect all the science. Either that or it's a total of 4 times. And I think we look at, there's a way to tell how much. I can't in this screen. Can I look at this? No, we just need to go this way, and I am going to attempt going up the hill again. Since we're only doing 1 science, I'm not worried about if the wheels break, but I am going to attempt to not have the wheels break. And then I just have to make sure that we go to the correct thing, which is the one lab. We're going way too fast. We are 100% going to blow up wheels going up this ramp. There's no way I'm going to be less than 10 meters. I am actually going to be less than 10 meters per second. Okay, let's see if 8 meters per second is slow enough to not blow up. It is not. But it only took 1 wheel, so that's a little bit better. I just need to go to that one building, and then that's it. And we go and look at Bob Kerbin, who is stuck on Minmus this entire time. Let's get over there a little bit quicker. We've done the flagpole completely. We just did not do this small lab. Now, since we're doing pretty much an EVA, I do not have to be touching the building with the rock. Actually, I do. That's quicker than going down the ladder. If I just go like this, and we right-click and do surface sample, that should be the remaining science for this, and then that's it. We don't even have to put it in the box, because we have the person in the rocket. We're going to be getting 0.6 science from that entire trip. Probably a waste of fuel, but that's fine. And I am going to check to make sure that it is completed. Surface sample. R&D small lab. It is completed. So, we're going to go into the tracking station. We're going to go over here, and we're going to fly this rocket. And we need to do some math beforehand. So, I have a total of 1490 meters per second. I need roughly, we'll say, just to give me extra in case we mess up, we need to stop flying around Minmus when I am at 300 meters per second. Just to make sure I have enough to get back home. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up time until we are in the sun. Can't really tell which way the globe is spinning. Looks like it's spinning this way. I need to face this way? Seems about right. And this is just to make sure that I am within sunlight and gaining power. Even though we're not really using much of the power right now. And that is an ad. So, we are doing a new thing where the ads are 3 minutes long. So I'm going to go into our Be Right Back scene for those who can hear me right now. And I'm going to take a quick snack break until we come back. So, I was talking to Willow, who is another streamer, so let's do a quick shout out for her. Willow Rainey does quite a large selection of games. I actually don't know what to say she focuses around anymore. It used to be she was mainly focused on Oxygen Not Included, which she is playing again. She's currently doing the dinosaur DLC for Oxygen Not Included. Not right now, she's not live now. But Willow Rainey is kind of my go-to person for anything Twitch related. And she was explaining to me that the reason we were having issues with our ads, because I had thought that every hour we were doing 3-minute ads just to stop, what are they called? Not mid-rolls, although I think this does stop mid-rolls. When you first join a stream and they have ads, if you do 3-minute ads every hour, it stops that from happening. So if somebody comes in for the first time, they're not immediately getting ads and they can talk to you. So I figured that'd be better for, raiders. So we now extended our ads to being 3 minutes every hour for that one reason and that reason only. I did look up how long the ads would be in order for me to make like a profit out of it, because I was curious, how long do ads have to be before you make money off of the ads? And it turns out, at least for me, I would have to make the ads 5 minutes long before I see any money from it. So I'm not seeing any money from this. I didn't know. I thought that's maybe why I had the ads not set to 3 minutes, because I wasn't trying to get money from it. But since I'm not making money from it either way, I don't remember why I turned it down to, I think it was 30-second ads. So it was like 1 or 2 ads maybe for you guys. So now every time the ads go off, we will be getting that same song, which was Cynthia's theme. No, that wasn't Cynthia's theme. Cynthia from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is the champion. And she has 2 different theme songs, and the ads is the first theme. And then when we get raided, it's the theme that plays when you're actually battling her. So that's going to play, and then I made another sound for when the ad ends so that I know when to come back in case I'm not paying attention. So anyway, we are going to be going to the Be Right Back scene every time there are ads so that the people don't miss it, since it's 3 minutes. And so that the people that are subscribed or have gifted subscriptions have something to look at while we're waiting for the ads to finish. But anyway, we are back here now. And we are going to do the signs from right here. And now that I know we do not actually have to go down to the bottom just for a surface sample, we actually don't need this extended again. So I'm going to press 1. Actually, let's look at first slowing down our time. We bounced up because when you slow down, it does weird things. We want this and this, so I can look at the action group. So number 1 does the signs from the area, which makes sense. Number 2 collects all the signs. Number 3 sends the science. Number 4 does not turn on the engine. So is the engine currently running right now? Yes, it is. Okay, that's good to know ahead of time. we shouldn't go too fast landing back down. We might bump. That's fine. I kind of do want that rocket on 4, but we could just mess around with shift and control to make sure that I'm not going too fast. Anyway, number 1. This is all initial science, so we definitely get a lot of science just from this. And we also get more science than Kerbin because we were on a different biome. Or not a different biome, a different globe. So each different globe, the further away from the sun, I think, gives you more science, or it's just the sun makes the most science and everything else is less than it. I don't remember which way it was when it was explained. There's not really a good science thing on YouTube to teach you all about the science. I don't really know. But anyway, we want this open for a second. Because I need this out. Put this over here. And I need this opened and over here. Now we are going to close this because I don't need that opened anymore. EVA. We're going to do an EVA from right here. We're going to do a surface sample from right here. Now, what I did remember is that we have not done the flag. That's the word. But let's go out here a little bit. Just one step since we float quite a distance. And we are going to place down a flag. Canonically, this is our first flag. And I don't know why the flag icon is different than what our company is. Weird. We'll call this Bob's first land. I think that's what we were calling it the last time. No, it's Minmus first landing. And then down here, it was Bob Kerbin's first landing. Okay, now we go all the way back. And we climb up. We're only going to have to do this once, so I am going to close this. Because we don't need it open. It is going to open again if I retract and extend the landing gear. That should be fine. Anyway, let's press 2 to collect all the signs. And of course I'm going to do EVA. And climb all the way down here until the Science Junior says restore. And now I can move these up closer. So how far away do I have to be to do this? I have to at least be on this first service bay, which holds our batteries and propellant. So now we are in here. I want to know how much throttle do I need to have in order to take off. But believe it or not, I am giving it throttle. We are now at the first line of throttle, so I'm guessing that's not enough. I feel like we are slowly taking off. Yes, we are. So the second line is enough to get us going up. And what I'm going to do is get some height, and then aim us this way, and just go hopefully straight over like an arrow. As much as that may be considered being straight. I also don't know where we have to go for the best landing point. Because I think anywhere on this would be counted as the lowlands. And I don't know how high that is. This should be enough that we can start turning that way at least. And I'm hoping that we don't lose much height when we start actually going sideways. So I'm just going to bring our prograde way over here. And then at some point I am going to cut the throttle. We are still going up, which is okay. That'll give me enough time to readjust where we are going. If I go completely horizontal, do we start losing height? Because I think we are losing height. So let's bring the prograde up more. Prograde is not going up. Not entirely sure why. I'm just gonna put us like this so that hopefully we slow down as we're descending. Maybe if I go further this way, we'll slow down even more, and that'll bring either retrograde or prograde up. Either way is helpful right now, honestly. Let's go full prograde, or retrograde. I need to kill a lot of our throttle. Oh, we did not explode! I was not expecting us to do that. I thought we were definitely going to explode going that fast. I want to know where this lands. Okay, this is relatively okay. Amazing to be watching someone play while actually playing KSP yourself. Welcome in, first-time chatter. Okay, so we are... And thank you for the follower. That reminds me, chat, we should probably talk about something. If I go to here, I'm going to pull up our channel. Because we actually reached a goal, and that is not what I want. Including the new follower we just got. We now have 101 followers. So I forget who was the 100th follower, because I don't know if I can look. I think there is a way for me to look that up, but I'm not going to do it right now. We're streaming. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who's come in and gave me a follow. I'm very surprised to have 100 people. Anyway, that's all that was. We're going to go back in here. We shouldn't be sliding. Are we sliding? I don't think we are. All I'm going to do is press 1. Do all the signs from here. This is considered the lowlands, which is where I expected us to be. And then we're going to do our EVA without even leaving the rocket. Or letting go of the rocket, I mean. Surface sample, and the EVA, get back in, press 2. And we're good to go. Actually, we're not good to go. I need to get back out. And climb down here so that we can close the goo and the Science Junior. You're welcome. Just clicked on your stream and I straight away know someone which is good. I am relatively new. We've almost been going for a year. I don't remember exactly when we started, but I know we started in October because my internet was fixed at the end of October, so I have a stream saved after the internet was fixed and we weren't breaking up every like half an hour. So I don't remember exact date that we started. We may have started in late September. I don't think it was late September. So we're at least 10 months in. Self-taught mostly. I do have some streamers that are friendly enough to have helped me through it, but I did not use YouTube for doing this. Most of it is just testing out different things and seeing how I like it. We did go through a bunch of different looks of our stream. So right here where my hand just popped up is a cat camera. I do have a tuxedo cat that occasionally comes on. We didn't have 2 cameras for a while. Now we do. We actually are going to have a 3rd camera later on when we do the Lego Optimus Prime in about 2.5 hours? I think that should be 2 p.m. Today is actually the first time we're doing a 12-hour stream because we had a redeem that was going on. And people said they want to do it. 4 p.m. for you? So you're 2 hours behind me in a way. So right now it should be 9:24 for you? Or no, you're 2 hours ahead of me. You are 1:24 right now. Or 13:24, depending on how your clocks are. I am EST time. Anyway, we're going to do some throttle until I can get us up. Actually, if I do RCS, that should help us. I just want to lift up the rocket. Not really turn per se. I am holding up, so I'm kind of getting it. Not really. I might just need to do more throttle. But I am worried. I just do max throttle for a moment here. Well, what did that break off? Well, it's about to break off my antennas. Let's go on retro. And that put us back down again. Not what I wanted to do. What it broke off was solar panels, so nothing too needed. Turn RCS off. That did not help us. Do you have a quick save? I should have quick saved after doing all the sciences. What is our last quick save? Is that going to exclude all the science we just did for the past hour? Or does a quick save every time I recover a vessel? I'm going to look at the load saves. So we are on day 26. That can't be right. Day 26 of this rocket. So if we go down to what we had when we first started, that was 555 science. This is 569, so it could be closer. It's also 1 hour and 8 minutes, but that says day 67, so I think that's before we came here. Is 8 flights in progress the correct number? We have 3 relay satellites going around Kerbin. We have another 3 going around Minmus. We have this rocket that we're looking at, that's 7. What's the 8th one? Oh, we have the satellite lander that's on this globe. You just made Apollo 11 flying the moon? That's awesome. I think it's fun to watch people make the Apollo rockets. Okay, so we're probably not going to be on Minmus, going off of the noise. But that should mean that I have all the science. Let's check to make sure. I think the last thing we did was a surface sample on the R&D small lab. That is completed, so that's close enough. It's really cool, especially with restock mods and waterfall. I have not downloaded mods for this yet. I'm not sure if we're going to download mods for Kerbin, I mean. We are way over here. Does it autosave after we acquire science? It appears like we do, and that's not really where I wanted to be. So how do I flip us up? I think the first thing I should do is rotate us so that we're not facing downward. I think it's every 30 minutes. That's close enough for this. So luckily I can just rotate us using the keys without the engine. Maybe if I put us this way. And then I try lifting up the rocket, it might pick it up. It's not doing it without extra help. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I have to turn the rocket a little bit as we're doing this. But we are kind of going up. I just don't want it to break the solar panel if I can avoid it. Oh, we are not going up. We are just turning. Okay, if I can keep the rocket like this, makes it a little bit easier with the rocket. Let's turn RCS on to give us a little boost. Not really helping. Does help that way. If I put us like this, can I just lift us up? It is slowly lifting up. Good luck on catching the spupa. Retracting the landing gear, yes, would help a lot, probably. But it's also helping us not slide down the hill. Now this is close enough to do an accurate takeoff. And we know that we have to go at least to the 3rd throttle. Why are we going back down? Oh, don't break anything! Alright, that did not help. Let's get us back up. We're going the wrong way. That's gonna flip us over. That's not the way I want to go. Are we lifting up at this point? I don't think we are. Alright, we are gonna have to retract the landing gear. Don't want us to roll, because this is actually the way I want it orientated. I do want to face up that hill. Alright, that at least gets us off the ground, and then I can worry about where we're going. I'm gonna SAS on to help me. So I want to go this way. More so this direction. If I do just to the 2nd line, we should be bringing the prograde to the direction we're facing. Which, yes, is very slow, but we will speed up as we're going up. What I should do is a quick save right now while we're in the air. Where you want to go? We want to go up to the top of this hill because that should be a new biome. That should be the midlands, or it could be considered slopes. I do see the redeem. Thank you, okay, Clips. Right now she's sleeping, so I'll wait until she comes back. We are biome farming. We will at some point come back to Minmus to get all of the science eventually. Or maybe I do it off stream. But right now we're just doing the initial science, and I think I need more throttle to bring our prograde up, because we are getting very close to this hill. I just go like this and keep us right on what I think is radially out. The prograde should be climbing very close to me right now. It is coming up here. I throttle down a bit. Let's go back to just the minimum. Actually, I'm going to cut our throttle off, I think. And just in case we go to hit the ground, I want to put our landing gears down. I also want to retract this. If we are going to hit the ground. They gave us a bit of speed going up, I think. Just so I don't hit the ground. What I do want to do is figure out where I have to use RCS to slow us down. I think I'm doing it the correct direction for the way that we're going. Because I really don't want to reorientate the, I know we're doing side drift. I'm doing it on purpose to make sure that I can get onto here. So this should be slowing me down. I think we might explode. Nope. Those are the antennas. I'm fine with that. I'm not fine with being thrown around, though. Oh no. Things are not going well. Things are going to keep exploding. I think it's RCS is hurting me a little bit. Alright, that at least stopped me. Just touch the ground, don't explode. I want to know what actually broke off. The parachute broke off. We definitely need that. We're gonna reload from flying. Operation done, patient dead. No, Bob was still alive. Why did we start from here? You guys saw me do a quick save while in flight. Not this one. I don't know why that is 17. You didn't see it because you blinked? I'm gonna take a moment to check the tracking station, because we should be able to see the amount of signs we have at this point. Probably should have just did Space Center. 17.7 science. think I messed up saves. Because this is probably going to tell us that I did not do the science for all the different buildings here. I click on light poles, right? Yep. So all the science we just did at the beginning of the stream is not completed, so we're obviously not going to take those trips again to get all this science. It didn't really equate to too much more than what we currently have. It was maybe 10 more science or 20 more science. So I will do that off stream. And instead we're just going to go in here and I'm going to do a full-on save looking at this rocket. Because now we're at nighttime. So, stick with me for a moment while I speed up us into the daytime. Shouldn't be too much longer. There we go, there's the sun. Slow us down, we bounce a little bit. I was never a friend of quick save, too many mishaps. Well, it helped us before. And I don't know where it's saved. Because persistent is the current save that you're in the moment. Quick save, I think, or quick load only goes to the first quick save, I think. So we're going to test something out. If I do a quick save right now, does the science being 17 go up to 555? Because maybe I didn't press quick save? That's a quick save. Ah, we didn't press quick save when we were in flight. Okay. I must have maybe hit F6 instead. 99% it goes right, and then you need it. Okay, so I assume I just didn't press the button correctly. But that's okay. We can do this now in sections, and we'll save after each science collection to make sure that we're landed the correct way. Maybe we'll save fuel doing it this way. So we're going to restart again from the beginning, pressing 1 here. This is the first time we're getting the science canonically. We're going to do an EVA, because I need to go all the way down. We're going to plant our flag, which again does not have the correct company logo on it for some reason. So, jump here. We're going to do 1 leap. That wasn't a leap. There we go. I'm going to do the surface sample. EVA. Plant a flag. I don't think we get any science from planting a flag. Then we get the name pop up. This is going to be Minmus first landing. And then in the description, it's going to be Bob. Herman's first landing. So if we ever come back, I'll put more flags around and I'll tell you guys more about it the stream afterwards. Now we can just go back. Gotta go groceries, have fun shopping. I am actually going to be getting groceries tomorrow. So, like mine's. Don't want to, but fridge is empty. Why don't they fill themselves, like in my dreams, all the time? There was someone who once said that they had a dream or an idea that anything you ordered was delivered by pneumatic tubes. So like the tubes at a bank, if you ordered something, like, let's use groceries for example, if you ordered an apple, it would get sent to your house by a tube. I thought that was a cool idea. It's never going to happen, but I thought that was a cool idea. Okay, so now we are going to put all this stuff back up here. Restore. Can I click on the goo without opening this? I don't think so. That's fine. this up here. Close this. Did I close the lander? No, I didn't. You know, we'll keep it out just in case I do need to walk down or something. If anything, it breaks off. Alright. We want to make sure to do a quick save right here. That wasn't just an idea. Berlin tried those post-tube system stuff for food. Really? It wasn't built outside the test area, so it probably didn't perform as efficiently as they wanted it to. Okay, just to make sure, did the quick save work? Now, I don't think it's going to change the number here. It also didn't change the time. We have different time. I'm going to quick save again. Why are we time warping? Oh, that's just regular warp. If I look again, does it at least say different time? No, it doesn't. Alright, so what I'm going to do now... Oh, I didn't mean to quick load. I think that means we don't have the science again. I'm testing things out. I was almost to what I was about to do. We'll just fly back. I'll do a test to see if the science is still able to be collected. Actually, we could just look at the ground. If the flag is there, it's saved. So we have all the science then. Open. I want you up here. And you up here. Close you. Okay, so it looks like the time for the save file does not change, as in like what day we're in. I think it goes off the days of Kerbin. Which still wouldn't make sense because the timing of it would change. I'm gonna move these down so that I can actually see everything when I look up there. Anyway. We are gonna make sure to do actual saves now from now on. So from right here, we know we have a quick save to it. I'm not going to do a fast save. And Tori is now here. Hi, pretty girl. Come on. Someone redeemed treats, if you wouldn't mind turning around. Want some of these? Oh. Yeah. Yeah, turn this way. Hey. You want them? Over here. You gotta turn around so people can see you in the camera. That's the whole point. I will turn you around myself and you will not like it. For those who are new, Tori is my cat's name. She is 18 years old and will be 19 in February. They're over here. There you go. So she does not like being picked up. I'm going to assume it hurts her a little bit, maybe like arthritis type pain. But we took her to a vet recently, I think it was at the beginning of last month, and we found out that there's absolutely nothing wrong with her health-wise, other than being old. So everything that is wrong with her is just age-related. There's nothing to worry about. Like her eyesight's going, but we can't. There's no point in fixing it. Like there's nothing to fix, because it's just going due to age. Anyway, we're gonna get back in here. When we land up here on this top hill, which I should probably look for a flatter area. I think we'll aim for up here more compared to the side of the hill. But what I am going to do is full throttle just to get us started. And if I keep this, I can actually see our highest point. 8. Whoa, I didn't mean to go that far. SES was not 1. 800 meters is as far as we will go. Alright, full throttle this way, please. Good enough. Now if I put us on a retrograde burn... we are going to be doing slow burns with this as soon as we get over top of where we want to land. I could turn RCS on and use that to slow us down. Which direction do I have to burn? Is it up? It is not up. It is not down. Left or right? It is J. J keeps us floating. I am locked on retrograde, so we are going to be turning as I go to the landing point. We should probably... That's M. Probably use some fuel to slow me down. We are coming in hot. You know what? Full throttle. And just cut it as we get closer. That should be fine. And from here, I'm going to use RCS. Oh. I was going to use RCS, but then we started speeding up. Why are we not locked on retrograde? Okay, this should be relatively flat. We shouldn't fall over. You can get turned off. Why are we rocking back and forth? If I turn SAS off, do we fall over? No, we just keep rocking back and forth. Although I think it's slowing down. Yeah, it definitely is slowing down. We might start tipping over. Actually, I don't think we are. If I turn SAS on facing this way, we should stay that way. Okay, about to detach lander from main capsule to land Apollo 11. I wish you good luck. We have not... Actually, we have done a rocket that similarly works that way. It just wasn't modeled after Apollo 11. If you're doing a land rover at some point, keep in mind, if this is your first time, that the land rover's a little bit more difficult to control in low gravity. They tend to flip over very quickly or easily. We tested it out before coming here with this rocket, because I was going to use a land rover to just drive around, and it just kept flipping. The moment I go to give it any throttle, it obviously would pitch down the front of it and raise up the back because it's, you know, forward throttle. But that would also make it flip forward, and the same in reverse, going backwards. And we did not even test to see how to stop that, so I don't know how to counter it, honestly. We just went to this. And we were doing a bunny hop system, so we're just giving it a little bit of thrust to go to the next biome and such and so on. Anyway, press 1. Do our signs from this biome, the low lands. We're going to get out, do our EVA and our surface sample. And get back in. We're going to press 2 to collect all the signs into our storage container. EVA again to get out and climb down here. To restore these. You know, in hindsight, I should have made this storage container with the batteries be below the Science Junior, so that I didn't have to climb down as far. But I also didn't think that I wouldn't be able to do the surface sample from up here. I thought I had to get down to do a surface sample. Apparently you can do it from the rocket or vehicle so long as it is touching the biome you want it to be taking the sample from. Okay. We need to do a save right here. Now I am going to test a quick save, but I am also going to do a full-on save to make sure that we have it. Excuse me. So, if I reload this save, do we come back to this point? Yes, we do. Okay. But it's still good to have that backup. So I am going to be... I'm forgetting what the word is. Not reroute. Why am I thinking it's the word reroute? I'm going to save over at the last save we just did. I think it was number 16. We're going to... The next save we do is going to be number 16. It's going to reset it. I'm forgetting the word for it. I don't know why. I'm having brain fog for some reason. Anyway, we're going to do the same system we did to get over here. I'm going to do full throttle to get us up. Now it says 1 kilometer is our max height. We're obviously not going to be going to 1 kilometer. Oh, I am spinning a little too much here. That's because I don't have SAS on. That makes sense. What I want is the ladders to be at the top, because that is the way that the ship points in terms of north and south. And then as we get high enough, I am going to throttle us forward. Actually, we could start throttling forward. We are still going up. We're still in an arrow. But I don't know how high this is. If that is lower than 2 kilometers, we definitely have to go up more. And actually, we are facing straight for that hill. I am going to give us a little bit of upwards. Let's bring our AP up to 2.5. Well, 2.6, close enough. And then I am going to keep us this way. I want us facing this direction. But I also don't want to mess with our prograde just yet. Okay, at this point, I think we are going to go over the hill. That is what I want. I want to land on top of this hill, because that should be Midlands, if I'm correct. And there should be a very large flat area to land on. 100% large enough. It is quite a high hill, though. I think we're going to have to just keep throttling upwards. Oh, we were also going off of land. I should be looking at sea level to know that we're going high enough. Okay, so we're going to go up to 3.7 kilometers at this point now. I think this is the point that we are actually going to make it over the hill. And I just want to get to this point here. I should probably start pointing retrograde. And this is counting us as an orbit, which I'm very surprised about. We are slowing down, which shouldn't be too dangerous for us. If anything, it might be shooting us over where we want to be in a good way, I mean. We should click back to not being in orbit pretty soon. I'm just going to slow down our descent because I think this is going to switch and that's going to take us off retrograde. Yep. Just like I thought. Alright. And now I switch this back so I can see how close we are to the ground. I'm just trying to slowly kill our speed as we go, because we're going to break off the antennas. Or not. This retrograde seemed to not be the direction I want to be facing. It was odd. I am okay with this landing. But that's something I have to figure out now. Anyway, we can do the signs from here. Let's do our initial signs. And EVA. Get our surface sample. Get our EVA report. Back in, collect the science. Back out. Where... Oh, I don't have them opened anymore because we reloaded. There. And that bumped us up a little bit. I put you up here and click restore. We go down a little bit, put you up here. Click restore. Why is your nav ball in orbit mode? Oh, maybe that's why. Retrograde was weird. We must be high enough that we're still considered an orbit. And I thought it would automatically change back to surface at some point. Thank you for pointing that out, because that makes sense now. Alright. RCS on, because I want to know which way do I have to push RCS to make us go up. That seems to be the right direction. And if I hold up... Not doing the same thing. Don't want to roll. Did N and H? No, that would push us forward and down, or forward and back compared to... I do remember we removed the landing gears, and that helped us. Let's do this slowly. Turn SAS on to make sure that I stay in the orientation I want to be once I get to that point. I turn the landing gears out now. They're going to push us up. We're going to do a bunny hop. We should be okay. A little bit to the left. Turn RCS off. Turn SAS on. So we land properly. Now I'm turning it on. Alright. I did not pay attention to what biome we just did. If I get out and do an EVA. We're in slopes. Is that the one that's the hard thing for me to figure out? Oh, it is! Awesome! We got the one I can't very easily see from the map. We don't have to do that again. Awesome. Alright, well, first let's go in. We may need to take a quick restroom break. Now, what counts as highlands, then? Or midlands? Is there, like, an even flatter area? I guess it would be this darker patch. Why does it seem different? It honestly just seems like anything over in this area. So there is a slight line here as like an incline thing, so this is sloped a little bit. I think we just need to go to that point. I am going to do a quick save. And we're also going to do a hard save. So this should overwrite. That's the word I was trying to figure out before. This should overwrite quick save 16. Okay, and we're going to take a quick bathroom break. I will be back in a few seconds, or a few minutes. You have to go? Okay, okay, Clips. Have fun. Pretty sure low, mid, and highlands are just altitude-based, really? On the map for Minmus, it shows them in different areas. It could be just altitudes, but who knows. I will be right back either way. There we go. Now, even stranger thinks that the low, mid, and highlands on Minmus are altitude-based. Is there anything that may state it specific? Roughly 2/3 of the surface area is irregular terrain, transitioning between highlands, midlands, lowlands, slopes, and that doesn't disprove or prove what you said. In game. What if I go to Minmus's wiki? Because if it is, I want to know if it is height, we might as well just go straight up and see what we can do. This just says the same exact thing. They just copy and paste it over here. Various fats are almost perfect. Oh, so high compared to Minmus's sphere of influence, they count as in orbit according to the navigation tool. That makes sense? Unless the player manually switches the nav ball to surface mode, this makes landing on these plateaus challenging. If only I read that before we tried landing where we are. So we're gonna have to make sure as I'm trying to land that I make sure we are on that specific F-ball thing. For most lanes which are not on a plateau or like the touchdown altitude is usually between 2 and 2.5 kilometers. Verbal jumping on this moon goes up to about 12 meters off the ground. Cool. I still don't see anything that either agrees or disagrees with it. Surface type. Don't care about the orbital mechanics. The highest areas are over 5.7 kilometers in altitude, so that's good to know. I'm going to go as if it does not work off of altitude. Since we still have to go around pretty far. And there is a highland pretty close to where I currently am right now. And by pretty close, I mean if we go into the game and I press M, zoom in quite far. We are right here. We have the Little Lake. We have some lowlands. And then right here should be some highlands. Are we going into the sun or away from the sun? Get the feeling we're going away from the sun. No, we're going into the sun. Okay. I want to be able to see more of Minmus. But I can point out where we're going to. Right. If I stop us right there, that's good enough to see everything. So there is a divot here that is Midlands. This should be Highlands. Surrounded by slopes. So it's going to be like a large area, but From here, it looks like a pinhole surrounded by slopes. But anyway, back in here, we are going to go just over here, I guess. There's no way to really tell me which direction I'm going. There is a Magikarp in chat. That is perfect timing. I don't even have to pause the game. That's a Gen 1 fish that turns into Gyarados, which is a very strong water and flying type. Okay. Let's give it some thrust to get up so I can rotate. That's rotated a little too far. We're also falling over a little bit. But can I do this thing where one of the legs isn't touching the ground yet? We just do a rotate on two legs to get us pointed the correct direction. Surprisingly, this is working. I really didn't think that was going to... Now, are we facing the right way, though? So that if I go straight up and then we just point this way, and we might be shooting over to the left a little too far, but that'll be fine. Straight up. And stop this way. And start. And stop. Congrats on Gino, Leofar, and myself on catching the Magikarp. I'm glad to see you're back, Leofar. Okay, right now we are in an orbit, in a way, because we are high enough that we aren't in the atmosphere. So if I turn this way and give us a little bit of thrust this direction. And then we go to... We're on surface, so this time we're actually going to land the way that I wanted to. I just don't know how far away the slopes biome is from Midlands. And I think it's this ever so slightly different looking ground. So I am just going to kill off a lot of our velocity and hope that we start going straight down. Because at this point, if we are too close to slopes, we can at least just bunny hop slightly to get to where we're trying to go. And I'm trying to keep a meter per second for each 10 meters we are at. That seems to be a safe slowdown speed. I'm actually staying a little bit slower than I need to. That should be fine. Rose touchdown. I probably should have added lights to this. Alright, if I turn SAS off, we should end up landing flat in terms of a tripod. Slopes are steep, too steep for that craft to land on without falling over. We haven't had that issue yet, so long as I land all 3 landing gears at the same time, and then turn SAS off. That seems to stop us from teetering back and forth. Once I stop rocking, I can turn SAS back on, and then we stay in this orientation. We haven't fallen over yet, but I do know the first time we tried coming here, we did fall over quite a lot. Right, let's see what biome we're in. We are hoping for what right now? We are hoping for Midlands. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong picture for the colors. Okay. We are still hoping for mid-lanes. I just should have this opened up. Back to here. Press 1. We are in mid-lanes. Awesome. One less place to go to later on. I get out and I do the surface sample and EVA. Go back in, collect everything. Get back out, go down ever so little. Why did the restore? There we go. The restore button went away for the science junior. Okay, now it says that the lake right above us is its own biome. What biome is that? I'm gonna guess that's flats. So flats are all over the place. The one that we're looking at currently on the globe is just the closest, largest one. The others that are all considered the same biome are smaller lakes. We are going to aim for that. Which is going to be hopefully very easy to get to because we're pretty much going downwards instead of going up. Which direction? The way that I am looking is the way that we have to go. It'll give us a little bit here. We want to rotate this way with SAS on so I'm not going too fast. And then if I just point us in this direction, remember we are in an orbit in a way. The gravity of Minmus is so small that this does count as an orbit. We're just not going fast enough to miss it. How did this do? And our highest point is 4.1 thousand. We might need a little bit more thrust just to miss this cliff here, but I'm not actually sure. That's our highest point. So from here on out, we are going down. Actually, I think we're fine. I put us in retrograde. And then we are going to wait until we're closer to the lake to make sure that we are landing in the correct spot. So I'm going to keep us on retrograde, but we might have to give us a little bit of prograde. I think we're aiming straight for the ground. If I flip us over, and then just turn us straight up and give us a boost. Probably should have just went retrograde. I didn't realize how wide this hill was. So I'm actually going to stay here at this radially out point. Just to make sure that we fly all the way over to the spot that we're trying to get to. And we have roughly 700 meters per second left of the fuel we're trying to save to get back home. I'm pretty much just staying here to make sure that retrograde doesn't get too close to us. I wish there was an overlay. There's probably a mod for this, but I wish there was an overlay that shows me from our rocket in this view where we would end up landing. Like if I press M and go into the globe map view, that shows us where we're going to land. But I want one in this view. The larger regions of flats have sizes named lesser, great, and greater. That's true. We do know about that. I think the tiny puddles are just flats with no objective. That's true. That's what we're aiming for. This is just the larger of flats for us to go to. So we're going to this one. Instead of going to a small puddle, we're going to like a small lake. We started in the largest flat called Greater Flats. To the left of us right now, going west, we would end up at the Great Flats. And then even further west is Lesser Flats. And on the way to Great Flats, we are going to try to get to Highlands, which is up here somewhere. Keep pushing retrograde to the horizontal vector. We also have poles to go to. So we're about halfway done. How much did we do already? We did low and midland. We did greater flats. We did slopes. That's 4 out of 9. We're about to do flats. That'll be 5 out of 9. So we'll probably have all 9 of these done by the time we finish playing today. By the 4-hour mark, we should have all the science done. Those, depending on, you know, if we have enough fuel for it. I might have to come with a second rocket and do like 1 or 2 biomes. You know, that might be a smart thing to do. If I come back with a secondary one for the lesser flats and the poles, we will just do this flats, the Great Flats, which is to the west of us, and the Highlands, which is on our way to the Great Flats, also to the west of us. We are almost the distance I want to be at. At this point, I am going to lock on retrograde from here on out. And we are just going to slow us down. Make sure I don't hit the ground too fast. And I do want to be on, well, actually right now it doesn't matter what height I'm measuring from, because ground level is sea level at this point. Switch back to these. They shouldn't change much. Whoops, I went up. Didn't mean to do that. And touchdown on flats. If I turn SAS off, we'll teeter for a little bit and then we should even out. As you see here, it does say Minmus's flats. There are more than one. They all count as the same biome. You do not get more science from going to the other flats. And I mean that name specifically, not greater and lesser flat. Surface sample. EVA. Back inside, collect all the signs. Back outside. So I can restore the Science Junior and the goo, and then back in. Okay. Where are we aiming to next? Pretty much this spot. Picture. Is this the largest one that we could aim for? It is not. It's really the smallest point. Because there are more than one highland area. And I think it might be better to come back later when we do the lesser flat and the pole. We could go from the lesser flat to a highland that is pretty large, and then go to a pole after that. Regardless of which pole we're doing. If we go north, there's a highland up north, and there's a highland down south if we're going to the South Pole. We might want to do that. We do still have to come this direction, so I am going to try to land there. We pretty much just want to go west, which should be the 270 marker. Can I rotate us without us falling over? So if I were to go this direction, we are actually facing the opposite direction. We're facing east. So I want 220 below us. I'm just going to slowly spin us around. Fill this number. No, this number. It's at the bottom of us. Which may make it seem like we're going east, but the direction of the rocket's going to be going the right way. We're almost there, just a couple more degrees. That is a heading on the exact number we want. Now, I am going to assume, because this said that the max height of Minmus is over 5 kilometers high, that the highlands is at 5 kilometer high part. So we should be able to see in this view what the highest point that we're going to is. Which, you know what? I actually can tell that it's right here. So we're just going to aim for it. I have our orbital data open so I can see our max height is right now 3.6 kilometers. Don't know why that is. But anyway, we are just going to take off going straight up. Oh, that was 5 meters. Not 5 kilometers. Gotcha. We're going to go up until our apoapsis is that 5.7 kilometer height, and then that's when we stop our vertical boost. And then I should keep this open. Or no, until we get to the spot we want to land on. Let's do off of sea level so I can see compared to this. Now if I rotate us this direction, this will shoot us west. So, we are roughly over the hill. If I just start pushing us this direction. We are now considered in orbit at 3.6 kilometers high, it looks like. And you're going to take it slow and easy to make sure that we're going correct thing. Let's go off the surface. Because that is quite a lot of speed. And I'm not entirely sure where we have to aim. I think this is Highlands. Because it's not very far from the lake that we're just at. So it's either this or it's this. I'm not sure which one it is. Kind of looks more this direction. Could be here. At our apoapsis, apparently. Huh, that's cool to think of. Our apoapsis is almost 10 kilometers high. Okay. I bring us down. At least I thought it was bringing us down. I don't actually think we went down. We are actually going further now. If I lock on retrograde for a moment, we'll burn some of our speed. Ooh, we are really close to... the amount of fuel that I'm saving to get back home. So this might be the last science, depending on if we can land. I want to rotate us and turn us. Not this one. Where are we rotating to? Oh, I'm still locked on prograde or retrograde. I want to aim this way. Trying to bring prograde. Why are we locked on this camera? This is going to be difficult for me. Alright, it at least looks like I reorientated where we're going to land. And now the camera's fixed. I'm just slowing us down, hoping we can land right here. And let's land this direction. It might be V. I tried C. I was one button off. It is V for the camera. I just pressed the wrong button. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to not having enough fuel. I am overshooting how much we need to save on purpose to 300 meters per second. I wrote down in my notes that I need 255 to get back home with this specific engine. Either way, our main goal right now is just to get to this flat area. Because this might be highlands. If it's not, that's fine. It does mean that we have to come back for 2 different flats. I wasn't planning on. So what I'm gonna do after we land safely, because it does look like we're making it to where I want to be. Should still be going west above this ridge line. If not, we're getting close to being on that line. What I could do is turn off retrograde and just go straight like this to make us keep going further. But you know, going this way, we are definitely making it over, so I am going to stay on retrograde. And we're just going to burn our height, or our speed. Actually, we are quite high up compared to where I want to be. Is that higher than where we are? Might be higher than where we are. Anyway, we are definitely going to make the landing. We just are using quite a bit of fuel. Yeah, we are now below the amount of fuel that I think I need to get home. But we landed anyway. I'm going to turn SAS off for a moment so that we naturally stop teetering. Let's see if we are on highlands or if we are considered slopes or midlands. We're in highlands. Okay, that's at least one biome ticked off. Good. Now I'm going to do surface sample. UVA. And then we are going to bring Bob back home. Now what I'm going to do is a full-on save. We're going to overwrite number 16. So no matter what we do, we can come back to this point before we take off to get into orbit and everything else. I'm going to close that one because that's not visible. But I do want to reset the... Wait. I want to reset the Science Junior just so it's closed. Select all the signs first. That was just for looks, no other reason. So I should probably save it again. We are prepared to go. Okay. Welcome in, Sophie. Can't stay, but I love you. Love you too, Sophie. I'm glad to see you even for a moment. Alright. And you redeemed hydrate after I just took a drink. Cheers, Sophie, for your hydrate. Alright. We are going to attempt to get back home with this amount of fuel. I think I want to stay here for almost another orbit. So that we're further this way. Which lake is that? That is the Great Flats with our calm lander. So we're going to go there. Does it have science? It might have a little bit of science. Wait, is that the Great Flats or is that the Greater Flats? No, that's the Lesser Flats. This is the Great Flats. We're really close to it. And we started way over here, so we didn't really go very far. We went to here. We might end up taking more than just 2 trips. How many biomes did we do? We did lowlands. We did midlands. We did highlands. We did slopes. We did flats. And we started on greater flats. So that's 6 out of 9. We have 2 flats and the poles. We could probably do that with just the amount of fuel that we are going to have with our second rocket. So what I'm going to do right now is first make sure SAS is on so that we don't rotate or anything. And I'm just going to speed up time until we do a full orbit around Minmus. Because I want us to save a little bit of fuel by burning 2 Kerbin. And with where we were almost going to burn straight radially out, and that would have cost more fuel. Now we are orbiting Kerbin, so it's moving a little bit as we are going inner. Whoa, that was too fast. I hit the wrong button there. Oops. Alright, this is pretty good. I'm going to do another save. That we are set up exactly at the point that we want to just take off. And I want to take off facing it east, which is the 90-degree point. So I want to rotate us this way so that 90 is below us. Because that is the direction that the rocket is going to be facing once I turn us. Give us a tiny bit. Would that make things quicker? It does make things a little bit quicker. Alright. Right there is good. Full throttle. Don't know what height I have to be at. We're gonna stop right there. But that is 10 kilometers, so that's actually pretty high up. I'm gonna put us on this heading. I'm gonna switch to orbit. I'm gonna go to here. We're gonna do full throttle until we get an orbit. Actually, I should have waited until we got closer to our apoapsis. I am just going to extend this a little bit so that I have more time to do a maneuver right here. And we're just going to burn this prograde until we get back home. Mind you, we have to do a little bit of a time change here. Because we want the periapsis to go into Kerbin, and that is going to use too much of our fuel. If I get rid of this. Way does mid orbit. I should really be aiming that way. We took off at the wrong time. Load number 16. We do a little bit of a bounce when we load in. And what I want to do is put us in a way that I can see where the... That's close enough. Alright, another overwrite save. Unable to save. Why? Because I was in mid-flight. We should have enough speed. Even at the lowest point that I wrote down, we should have enough. I'm going to adjust our angle once we're in flight. Could be the direction I want to go. Our highest point is not very high. So if I just very quickly... No, we're almost to our highest. Get more speed. Should be enough time for us to do this. Still not angled the way that it should. This is very weird. That's going to use most of her speed just getting into an orbit like that. It does give me a capture over here. But would it... It would burn too much. We're already at our highest point. Where are we in terms of... We are over... If I start lifting off here, that enough. RCS enough to make us lift off. It is not, apparently. I was not aware of that. Or maybe I was. But anyway. We're gonna go straight up until... Wait a second, why do I have so much fuel all of a sudden? Don't know how I got random fuel. I'll take it nonetheless. And this is the way that I want to go. I'm trying to get our apoapsis above 10. And then since I'm right here, I'm going to see if this is the correct. I want to burn prograde against Minmus's orbit. Until our parry would crash land into Kerbin. What's the lowest point this goes to? $287, $285, $283. We'll burn a little bit radially. And by a little bit, I mean quite a lot. Maybe I was looking at surface instead of orbit, and that's how I got extra velocity. Or maybe I wasn't high enough in the air for me to see the velocity. But either way, we don't have a lot of fuel land-wise. I think we're getting to the point where the number is going up instead. The lowest number. I see 31 there. Do retrograde to get us even further in. $26, $77. Trying to get a 35 kilometer height. Further up. That's way too... Bring that back to... 36 is good. We missed the maneuver a little bit, but that's fine. It's only 6 seconds. I'm just gonna burn... I should probably be looking here so I can see... the time, because the last time we did something like this, we ended up hitting the planet. I think we might end up hitting the planet again. I'm watching a periapse to see how high it goes. And that's the entire burn. I have a feeling we are going to crash into the ground. We do cut it close. Yeah, we're gonna hit the ground a little bit. Welcome in, Raiders. I will say hi in just a moment. We are trying to not crash into the ground right now. You know, I think I just need to go straight up. So welcome in, Regis and chat. My name is Coda, for anyone who does not know me. I play a selection of different games, mostly based around colony creators. That is Regis's walk-on. So we are playing a Stone of Space, which plays along series, where we play all of my games in an order as mankind's progression. Right now we are playing Kerbal Space Program, which is a transition between modern city builder to space travel. Okay, that should put us back on the right path. And right now we are trying to get this lander with our scientist Bob Kerbin back home. So if we look way out here, I think I need to focus on the orange. And watch that now, make sure it goes down to 35. So, Raiders, feel free to lurk. Make sure you get up and stretch, get something to drink, get something to eat. We are going to be doing a 12-hour stream today. So we have about an hour left of at least Kerbin. And then we will be switching to Lego Optimus Prime at the top of the next hour. Not in 2 minutes, but in 62 minutes. If I keep burning, I want this orange number, which is now the top number, to be close to 35. That's good enough. And we're just going to cruise like this for a while. I can click on that. We were going to hit this hill at first. So what you came into me doing is readjusting so I don't hit that hill. Anyway, let me welcome in everyone. Personally, welcome in Naomi. It's not repo time. If you crash, it's repo time. Sorry, Naomi. I ruined your plans. Naomi forgot the raid message. That's because she's not your best mod. That's what I'm there for. I'm there for you either to yell at me or for me to remember the raid message for you. Welcome in, Regis, anyway. The raid message is repo time. Alright, we do not have to sit here and slowly wait for us to leave. What I can do, I don't actually know which direction we are traveling. Are we traveling this way, or are we traveling upward? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna time warp, because I am very confused on what this orange line is. I think we're going downwards. Yes, we are going downwards. Okay. That allows me to pinpoint where we're going to be coming back to Kerbin. Going to be right here. I want to make sure we are on a normal orientation. Now, for some reason, we lost connection. So I actually can't do anything to the rocket right now. There is a Hypno in chat. That is Gen 1, and that's the first time I've seen a Hypno. Let's see if I can catch it. Anyway, we are going to come over here and try to land. Now, as we get closer, I will be able to reconnect Kerbin. I already can reconnect, so I actually want to hit slash so that we orientate to make sure that we have power at all times. And then I'm going to right-click right here. This is step 1 of getting all the signs from every biome in Minmus. We actually got 6 out of 9 biomes completed. Where is... Oh, Kerbin's right there. We do have quite a bit of speed that we could burn to slow us down, but at the end of the day, we are going to be breaking this off and having a heat shield, so we shouldn't really burn up too much. I think we will burn up our antennas. Maybe an issue, may not be. No idea. We did not lose connection. In time warp, you can't move the rocket at all, so I had to get out of the time warp, move the rocket, and then put it back in. Nice, I caught Hypno. Anyway, right now I'm going to do retrograde. Because even though we are 360 kilometers high, we are at some point going to be getting close to 35 kilometers. Which looks to be closer to over here, so let's time warp to right here. We will stray a little bit away from retrograde, but we should come back to it. We got a lot closer. It was about 200 kilometers taken off of our wait time, so I'm going to get a lot closer now. We should start burning very soon. I'm actually going to start burning speed right now. Let's do retro RCS as well. Which way is up for this? That is up. So I'm using RCS as well as the rocket to slow us down. I'm okay with the antenna braking. We are going to lose something on the bottom, I think. We will probably lose the landing gears. And the RCS thrusters. Oh, we are actually overheating Bob. I think we're going to be okay. It's just a matter of slowing us down. If I close them, they might help us slow down faster. I actually don't know if it's making us slow down faster or slower. Our heat should be going down. It is. We probably should have started burning further away. We're almost out of fuel with our thruster. There we go. I'm going to stage that off. Now we should be fine because we have a heat shield. And our parachute, what is that set to? When we have max atmospheric pressure and we are above an altitude of 2 kilometers, we will safely open the parachute and touch down. Where are we going to touch down? What biome is this? Where are we at? We might be able to get some biome science from right here. If I open the map, where are we? Oh, we're only to the right of Kerbin. Okay, so if anything, we're gonna get some, like, lowland science. Maybe we get water science? I'm not sure. We might get grassland. I can't really tell where we're gonna fall to yet. Anyway, we did survive. We lost the antennas, which is fine because I wasn't actually going to use them after I realized. We are going quite fast, though. Although the RCS is helping us slow down, we might be going too fast for the parachute to deploy correctly. I purposely opened them up early. I was getting too scared. And I have no idea what biome we are landing in. It looks like we're going to be on the cusp of 2 biomes here. Who knows? And there's an ad. So we're going to take a quick BRB break. Thank you, Wellbred. That's true. I was muted. So you didn't hear at all what I was just saying. Clicky, if you're here, your clip is now part of the video. And I was thinking that maybe I should move that last clip to being the first one as a trailer to all the clips because it says that Regus made most of them. Anyway, we're about to land on the grasslands. Or the lowlands. I forget what it's called. I think it's called grasslands. We're not supposed to tell him when he's muted. Wow, Regus. This is why you're not a mod. It's okay, I wasn't listening anyway. Wow. So many friends. So much attitude. I was mostly just worried my wiring wasn't failing. What broke? How are we going too fast to land? Well, that was the Science Junior. That's one of the 3 sciences that I would have gotten from right here. I mean, the other sciences stuff is in here, and that's the batteries. We're fine. So we're just going to recover this vessel. What broke? Gestures at everything. We should get a lot of science from this. I'm going to guess 400? 1,500? It's a lot more than I thought. I wasn't expecting that much science. 2,000 science now. We're gonna look at stuff that I can use to make things better. What's in batteries? Do I get better solar panels in here somewhere? This is the one that extends, I think. Not retractable once deployed. This would be best for our space station. I'm going to unlock that because I do want to get ready for the space station. These are better antennas, a new decoupler, the hexagon probe, more structural support, so I'm going to get that specifically for the antennas. What about in here? Reaction wheel, larger monopropellant tank, smaller engine. That might be a smaller propellant tank. Not sure. We have a new heat shield that's larger, a larger parachute, new landing struts. We could switch them out. And the next stage landing gear for our plane. So we'll get that. These are new elevons. Do we need them right now? I don't think we need these right now. This is better plane. That's fuel. That's without fuel. I know, this is less fuel. Gotcha. And it has this one is oxidizer. What? What? Rocket fuel, liquid fuel. Gotcha. And then this allows me to put 2 engines on the end. We're going to ignore that for now. What are these? Advanced Grabbing Unit. Kerbal motion engineers have long struggled with the problem of how to extract drop tools from complicated machinery. After observing an intern cleaning out his shoes by turning them upside down and shaking them outside the lab, our team was hit with a stroke of inspiration. Why not turn the rocket part upside down and shake them? The grabbing arm perfectly filled this niche and is quite capable of lifting heavy machinery. It has since found other uses besides delicate tool extraction operations. Okay, and I guess the Junior is a smaller version. I don't think we need that. Advanced fuel. New adapters. Larger RCS fuel tanks. And the Jumbo 64 fuel tank, which is probably the largest fuel tank, if not close to it. I don't think we need it right now. Propulsion we do want, because this should have the Separatrons. This is the stuff that we recreated using rocket boosters from here. No. Here, we used the Thud engines to mimic the Separatrons. What about in here? Bigger engines. And then the largest engines, as far as I can tell. We could also probably unlock this. How much science do these cost? 300 for each one of these. Do they have anything we want to get? That's illegal. Those engines are only for hunting wabbits. The thumpers. Flag. Beam. Clampotron was an accidental invention created after an engineer who really should have been wearing his glasses incorrectly interpreted the shield Clampotron's blueprints. Still, the rest of the team very much liked the idea of a sideways pointing docking port with its own aerodynamic shell, so he patented the design. Still refuses to admit it wasn't intentional. I don't think we need that. But anything in here? An even better plane, I guess. Here's the space plane stuff. And then we could just go straight for the largest heat shield and the best wheels. We also have these things. That's an external command seat. I kind of want that for a Land Rover. And then this is the best Land Rover gear. If I add these together, how much science would I have left over? Minus 160 plus 300, because I know it's next. Wait, is this the one I wanted? No, I wanted this one. Never mind. Let me get rid of that 300. Or it's 160. Plus another 300. Plus 550. That would leave us with 272.6 science left over. We could get all of those wheels. Button here. This unlocked science infrared telescope. The Sentinel Space Telescope uses infrared light to detect celestial bodies such as asteroids that may pose a risk to Kerbin. Surface Scanning Module, a small module that includes soil, atmospheric, and oceanic sampling tools. When used while landing on a planet or moon, the sample data gathered can be used to increase the accuracy of orbital survey scanners. And then this is the survey scanner. This orbital survey scanner uses a combination of advanced sensor technology and witchcraft to provide information on a planet or moon's natural resources. These images can be viewed either in flight or in relative safety and comfort back at KSC. Be sure to bring an antenna capable of transmitting the information back and sufficient power. So I'm going to assume that this uses quite a lot of power. Where do I see how much power? I don't see a thing that tells me. Usually it would be on here. When you right click on an item, it gives you more information. I see that it gives us more science if we do it at a height of 25 kilometers compared to, what's that? 1.5 million meters? And then this is the atmospheric fluid variometer? I've never seen that word before, so I don't actually know how to pronounce it. A device for performing accurate fluid spectrovariometry scans of the surrounding atmosphere, despite some criticism claiming that the fluid spectrovariometry isn't a real science. Kerbal scientists seem to all agree that the data it provides is definitely interesting. Warranty sold if exposed to air. Warranty void if exposed to air, I mean. And I think this green icon down here means that we can reset it? Not sure. But anyway, this is more science. How do I... There we go. If we continue down here, I'm guessing we just get even more science stuff. Convertotron. I've seen this in space stations. Seen that in space station. That's another converter. I'm guessing that's smaller. And then this is probably smaller than the thing. Or this is the big one. This is Drillmatic Junior. This is Drillmatic. Radio holding can, smaller holding can. Device for capturing and measuring the elusive negative gravioli particle used for determining the precise strength of gravitational fields. Warranty void if used to detect positive particles. And this is probably the last science. Large holding tank. And narrow band scanner. Ideal for surveying potential landing sites. This scanner provides detailed information about the planet or moon that it orbits, though this data is limited to the spot directly below the scanner. This is unmanned technology, so 2 probes. Looks like batteries. Even more probes, and I'm guessing even more probes after that. This is electronics. What's in here? That's a communication thing. Magnetic fields are all around us. Kerbal scientists know that learning about magnetic fields of celestial bodies can yield all sorts of interesting insights into what's going on inside it. But spacecraft also emits magnetic fields, especially when operating their electronics and mechanical actuators. For some reason, engineers just don't want to turn off the entire spacecraft or build it out of plastic. So the experimental engineering group solved the issue by sticking the sensitive magnetometer on an extensible boom. Warranty of the boom voided if used any place besides the vacuum of space. Magnetometer? Okay, I can see that. Thanks, Wellbred. I struggle with words. As you can tell, I can't read. Double C seismic accelerometer. Words are you're eating me. This device contains an extremely sensitive acceleration sensor, which, when properly settled on a firm surface, will detect and record accurate seismic activity data. The accelerometer will still function while flying, so the double C can also be used to measure accelerations during flight. Warranty void if shaken or exposed to vacuum. So this is a land science. And then a better relay antenna. I'm guessing this is more relay stuff. Drone core, better antenna, and a better relay. And then this stuff, probably more battery related things. That's definitely battery. This is actually the best charging thing. Forget why. I think it's just doesn't have to be orientated facing the sun, and it still somehow works. Like solar panels, you obviously want it facing the sun at all times. This thing, it doesn't have to be. Like we don't need each panel to be facing the sun. We could have the sun facing this top point and be like facing directly towards it, and it would still charge the batteries in a way. So through the exploitation of the natural decay of plutonium-238, this elegantly simple power generator can provide consistent, stable power for decades, not to be used for providing heating during emergency recover excursions. We are not going to worry about that. Do we do a poll on getting the best wheels, or do we use the science for other things? Because we could use the science for getting more science. Battery stuff. I don't think we can afford the 1,000 one. We definitely can't. So in order for us to get everything science related, we would need... Let's see how much we would need. About 500 more science. A little bit more. It's more like 600 science if you round. Specialized control, I don't think we need. That's a ending node. Is there something with a better connection point? Where is the thing that I these? Cybertron docking port is right here. So I would assume it's one of these. There's the multi-point connector, which we are actually going to recreate using other things, because it should still work. And this is either a better docking port or a larger docking point. It says 1 meter, so I'm going to guess it's bigger. No, it's still the same. I guess it's somehow better. Could do heavier rocketry to get better rockets. Alright, so we're going to do a poll. For what do I use science for? And in order, going from the top of the science tree to the bottom, we have either more rockets, or let's call it better rockets. Can you read us all the options again? I am in the middle of doing that. Better rockets, better wheels, because we can do all 3 wheel types for planes and the 2 for Land Rover. And then I think the third one that we were going to do, because the rest aren't needed right now, is more science. More science tools. We can't get all the science tools, I think. Those are 3. There's a minute for you guys to vote on what we're going to use the science for. In the meantime, I'm going to make our own connection point for a space center. So we are going to start with structural fuselages. And we are going to put 2 more. What I'm going to do with this first one is I'm going to place it directly on the side. And then we are going to move it. First step is to not have it. And then from here, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees to the right. That looks about 90. And then I want you up here. And then also in here. And that should be centered. It's actually slightly off. And I don't know what I just did. And someone voted on getting better rockets, so that's what we're going to use our science for. Look at that. It'll be easier to attach to if it's actually centered compared to where it is. Okay, now we do the next one the same way. Only this one is going to go on this side. Two again. I can move this up. And then this one is going to also get rotated. Same direction, but on a different axis. Why does that look like it is rotated incorrectly? Because it is not centered on this. Okay. Because I want you snapping to center using C. Okay, you guys can probably see where I'm going with this at this point. Oh, I don't want C on this. You there. Then we rotate inward. About 100% now. That's close enough. I don't really want to mess with it further than that. And then we're going to do the same movement to get this centered. I go to there, and then bring this in. It's a little hard to tell if it's being centered because I can't see the cross with that blue cross. It is not 100% centered. That is, though. Alright, this is our main connector housing. Welcome back, OK Clips. The next thing we're going to do is figure out where the pocket port is. And I found it already. What's the difference between these two? Oh, one's smaller than the other. Gotcha. So you, I want... one here. It's doing weird connection things. Where's it connecting to? We are preparing a space station. Supposed to be able to go right on the end. No, it's not the junior, because that's even smaller attachment points. What if I put a decoupler on the outside? Why can't I put anything on this? We don't have the Rockomax stuff. Oh, that's really weird. I can only put it on the middle one. You can feed her again if she, if the redeem is not timed out. Alright, chat, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these off. We're gonna put the docking ports on these. Which, for some reason... Oh, it goes on like that. Why does that seem wrong, though? Like, that part is the outside. Because that part is the outside. I want it like this. That looks correct. And then I'll take this and also put it up here and get the right. There we go. Okay, this is not going to be there. We're going to be putting a command module there. But for me to do the other stuff. Is it not Alt and click to copy? It is. Why can't I copy the whole thing? I'm pressing Alt on this and it's not copying anything. Am I not able to copy this whole thing? Alright, what if I take this off? Then can I copy that? No. What if I take this off and copy it? Oh, I can't copy this at all. Because it's the main thing. The root. Alright, let's go up to here and find that command module. This is what I want. It is actually quite large. Might not be what I want. What we're gonna do for right now is to flip this around. Because I should be able to do what I'm trying. And it is very hot in my room all of a sudden. Turn on the air conditioner. Fuselage. Right there. I think that might not be placed where I want it placed. Definitely is not where I want. But I think that's due to this being in the module. And now it's kind of like wedged in there. Okay, press Z until it goes away. And you rolled for a mug! We will take a look at the mug in a moment. Oh, you have to do exclamation roll 22. You forgot the exclamation point. Okay, just to get this, I'm going to... This should allow me... That's what I wanted to see. Again, this isn't going to be where it is in a moment. And I should be able to Alt-Tab the whole entire thing. Look at that. This is temporary there. Oh. Want you inside here. Alright. Roll to 1. That is very easy to do. Give me one moment. He said I am the chosen one. I will be right back. We're not going to go into be right back because it's just out of screen. Or out of camera view. Now, we've had all these mugs on stream before, so you guys might remember them all. But I'm going to explain them, even though. Especially for OK Clip, since it's the first time he's been here. Or they've been here, I mean. So this mug is a merchandise mug from a YouTuber called City Planner Plays. On his channel, he plays mostly City Skylines 2 and 1, And this is the acronym for his city, which I don't remember what it is. And this is the metro lines of that city. So each different line here is a different train line. And I have 2 of his mugs. I have this one, and then I have one that says "The struggle is rail," and it has a train station, a train line, train tracks at a train station. I don't know how else to explain it. You guys could probably look it up. I'm not trying to sell it for him. But I think it's the first 9 or 8 mugs are all merchandise related. Anyway, we are going to use this. Hi, Tori. So I'm going to pour as much water as I can into this mug, and then we'll drink out of the mug. You're not getting the water from the mug, Tori. She wants my water. No, I'm too money short to give Tori sweets. Alright, I'm gonna put this... I don't know. Is there space with Optimus? There is. That's gonna go right there for now. Let me get the headphones back on so I can hear it. Now, I almost forgot what the poll said for what we're going to use science on, but I do remember it's the rockets now. We're okay, Clips. Thank you, Wellbred. And you did the special treats. So that is the treats that are like chocolates, which I'm going to give her the top flavor, but if I go like this, they look like little tiny Hershey bars. They're not chocolate at all. And these are ones that she likes the most. So I have 3 different flavors: chicken, beef, and salmon. I'm just going to give her the one on top, which happens to be chicken. Hey. Sniff test? Can't tell if she wants them or not. Usually she spits up or licks her mouth or something. And now this would go on the bottom. You want this? Yep, there she goes. She licked her mouth. She's not going to get up though, so I'm going to try to put them over here where you guys can see her eating it. She actually got up to eat. You're going to knock them underneath the shelf and then not be able to get your head there. Yep. Move the move away. Are cats colorblind? Looks like Dubai chocolate. It does. It probably does. I'm not sure what that chocolate looks like. It has the same feeling as chocolate as well. So it kind of feels like chocolate, but more of like a... I don't know how to describe a meaty texture. Not slimy. It doesn't feel like meat. But when I pick it up, it's like chocolate mixed with meat. I don't know. Hey, you still got 3 more. She might be done with them already. She will come back to eat them later. She doesn't always eat them all right away. Anyway, we are going to alt-click this, because this is what I want. And then should be able to put this. Automatically rotated. Hold on a second. Because if I get the camera angled right, I can see if it's centered correctly. Look at that. It's not centered correctly. It was close. But that's better than nothing. And you know what? I can't put this next one on until I can see this is centered. or else I won't be able to center it later. So I take snapping off. Oh, I don't want the whole thing. We want to move this. So that moves the whole thing. No, keep going. This is gonna snap what I want. Everyone stretch, okay. There we go. Stretch my legs a little bit. Ooh, I got a little lightheaded. I think cats are electromags? Like dogs? So something close to red-green colorblind. That would make sense. She has an easier time finding these when I put them on the green. So maybe the green doesn't show as much with the food. Anyway, I think we're gonna have to connect this differently. But I can center this the correct way. So if I take this off, that doesn't get taken off. Okay. Get rid of these. Copy this only. And then, as I expected, this does not copy the same way. That's fine. What we're gonna do is, of course, move it. I don't think I need to worry about it going down yet, so let's just rotate it first. That looks pretty... No, it's not. A little off. That looks pretty flat now. And then I can move this up to here, and then move this into here. And then grab this. Put it over here. Or not, why... Why not? I can see the attachment node is right there. Am I really only able to apply them to these? I'm gonna try something different now. So this essentially is the same thing as the other thing, but colorful. Put you on with the... I don't want it like that. Hello. It won't connect to that because... It's weird. I should be able to place this on in here. And then maybe I can attach them to this afterwards? I'm just testing out things, because I've seen this done on YouTube. I know it works, I just don't remember how they did it. I'm also trying not to copy people on YouTube. Only now I won't be able to see the exact midpoint. while I'm doing snapping. Alright. This. It looks about halfway. No, not this. I'm gonna guess that's halfway because they're both distance away from their corner piece there. How do I catch Pokemon? Oh, I'll explain when you come back. Alright, now, can I put this over here? No, I can't. Alright. I changed the root tool to this. Don't know why it's in like that, but that won't matter too much after we rotate it. I hope that it did not just replace the entire root of this rocket to being that. I'm hoping that it was only the root of the item itself. Can I change the colors of these to make it easier to see them? I can. That doesn't seem right though. It is a little off. You're back? Okay. For the Pokemon Community tab thing, you did Poke Start, which is how you begin, and you should now have, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the channel, or the stream, there should be an overlay that tells you how many balls you have, if you click on the bag icon. You should start out with 30 Pokeballs, I believe. So to catch a Pokemon, first it has to not have had escaped. The Pokemon that was in chat is no longer there anymore. But the next thing you do is exclamation Poke Catch. That will, if I type it in. On my channel, it makes a noise because I set up a noise to go along with it. If you do Poke Catch, it'll use any random ball that you have, so sometimes you can collect different kinds, and just doing that command will use a random ball out of what you have. Since you had Pokeballs, if you do Poke Catch space Pokeballs, Pokeball, that will specifically use that type of ball. So again, Pokemon Escape, there's nothing there for me to catch, so it doesn't do anything right now. I have Ultra Balls, which are better at catching things than Pokeballs. There's a tier list, but you'd have to have them as well for you to use. If you want to buy things, you accrue money over just being in streams that have the Pokemon extension. You don't have to do anything to get money. Just being in the stream with the extension gives you money. If you want to buy more balls, you do exclamation Poke Shop. Then the type of ball, so I'm going to use Ultra Ball as an example since I know you don't have them yet. And then the number. So I always buy 30 balls at once. Now I put a space between the exclamation point and Poke Shop. Do not put the space. I did that so... Oh. I thought that wouldn't use the extension. Apparently I bought more... About 30 more balls. What? Where you went, Tori? You can't see her, she's just outside of the camera screen, but here she comes. Congrats on your new Ultra Balls. Thanks, Wellbred. What? Over here. Hey. Hey. Over here. I don't think she wants them. What do you want? You just want attention? How uncat-like of you. You might just want attention. What did you try to do? Pokey refund? Pokey, speak to the manager, please. Give kitty treats? Okay. You're gonna have to get up and eat pizza for you. This time I'm making them go on the camera view. You want it? It's right here. She will eat them at some point during this 12-hour stream, just she might not want them right now. Just to make sure she knows it's there. You stream tomorrow? I do not stream on Sundays. I do stream Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Or if you start Saturday, every other day. So this isn't exactly halfway colored. We want there to be a little bit of a separation between these two. Okay. If I just go back until it's sideways. We want you to go down to about here and then into about there. That should be halfway. And she's eating the treats. Can't wait for Duna mission. We will be doing that as our last mission. Since this is part of a story, Duna brings us into the next video game we'll be playing. So once we haven't decided on if we're going to land on Duna or if we're just going to go to it for the story, but at some point, either one of those options is going to be the end of the Kerbal Space Program. Now, is there anything in the to-do list I need to take off? We can take off the Mun manned landing because we went to Minmus. We didn't do all the Minmus biome science because there's 3 more to do. So we didn't really complete anything. We're working on the space station right now. Is that what you wanted? You wanted the regular treats compared to the chocolates? Because you're eating around the chocolates. She might not like the chicken flavor chocolates anymore. And away she goes, back to her bed. Which is on the other side of the camera. Anyway. I want to go to here, alt-click, and then this one. I guess can just go there for now. This is going to be difficult for me to figure out where the center is. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, which may seem odd, is I'm going to move it all the way to the edge so that I can see it here. Then I'm going to try to line this up centered. It's supposed to be a little bit to the right of that line, which it is, and then this way... Oh, we need it to go up. Yeah, we do need this to go up. When does it exceed that height? Right there. And then you need to come in this way. That should be centered. We're close to it. Alright, this is all I was trying to build just for right now. This is our main attachment point. Now, something I could have done was bigger attachment points, because this is very large. Could I use a smaller thing for this? I don't want to use a lanyard can. What does this allow? Was developed to provide a high visibility control room for orbital stations and a place for thoughtful Kerbals to contemplate the very beauty of the cosmos. Is there a bigger... machine thing that I could use? don't remember where I go to look for this. Is it not structural or decoupling? Not payload, although it does have bigger service bays. I don't really go to look for the thing I'm looking for. We have this, but that's a science thing. We have the hitchhiker thing, which is larger. We could make this whole attachment point out of hitchhikers. I think I might actually want to do that. Good luck, Gino. Just for size, do I want to do this? If we go back to science, how big is this? This is pretty much the same size, so we should be building bigger. Don't I have a bigger fuel then? I should have made it out of this. Why don't I have a bigger fuselage? It's pokey catch and then the ball. So for right now, there you go, that's the right command. And it would have normally said that you don't have the ball if you do not have it when you go to use it. So it looks like you have Ultra Balls. And that noise means somebody caught it. So good job, OK Eclipse, for catching it. This would be an attachment point for what? Does fit that size. This obviously does not. That's smaller. For right now, I am going to attach all of these, just so that I can save this with all these parts that we have opened. And we're going to call this Space Station, but not marked. Usually I make it like Mark 1 or something. We're going to go out, look at our science to see if I can unlock anything. Now what? Well, Pokemon is more of a collection game, so you could either wait for the next Pokemon and try to collect even more. There is a battle system in this. I don't know how to use it because I primarily only play just to collect every Pokemon that I can. I'm trying to get all of the Pokemon from the original game, the first 151. So they have a specific noise that pops up every time they pop up. But there is a way to evolve Pokemon to make them stronger and into a new Pokemon. You can battle with them. I don't know how to do that. Now somebody did vote for unlocking the new rockets, which I do have enough for all three of them. I want to find the thing that would allow me to have a fuselage that's larger. This is larger fuel. It's not the same thing as what I'm looking for. Not going to be wheels. I don't think it'd be an aerodynamic. No, there's no fuselages. I highly doubt it'd be in this section. What is this? Engine pre-cooler. That's not a... Pretty sure I already looked there. We know it's not in wheels because that's all wheel stuff. This is science stuff. Probes. Stuff we don't need. Power stuff. There is not a larger fuselage, really? That's the biggest fuselage we have. In diameter. So the rest has to be made out of a fuel cell. With no fuel in it to make weight. Or to lose weight. Okay. I heard Discord. We're just gonna close Discord. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna use this fuselage. I'm gonna keep these off to the side. And I'm going to pretty much recreate this whole thing. But what I need to do is keep that. Get rid of this. I want, just for looks, to have this on the end of the attachment point. Add this back on. Let's get rid of this. Alt tab that down here, because we are going to take this off. Rotate this. Not rotate it? I don't know what I did, but all of a sudden it's not working. If I do that and just press the... Oh, there's another ad break, so I will be back in a little bit. Alright, so what we're gonna do, since it is now past a 4-hour mark, is we're gonna finish making this attachment point. And then that is gonna be it for our Stone to Space story for today. And what I think I need to do is actually put these on one piece at a time. I just flip them over. Like that. We are going to use both of these at some point on different extensions to this. And this isn't going to stay like that. It's actually going to be connected directly to here. If I copy all of this, reroute to the middle point, now I should be able to connect this and nothing weird will happen. I think that's about the same height. That is really spot on. Okay. Wasn't expecting to get that close to the right place. Oh, wrong way. And all of a sudden that is now out where I thought it would be. There we go. That looks pretty straight. Okay, bring this in. And it looks like the line part is as wide as the other thing. If I just get all of these lined up, they themselves will show us the midpoint. Easy. I like it. So now we're going to grab another one of these. And it's automatically rotated. Shit. How do I attach this? You know what? I think what I'm going to do is just grab this. This is probably not the quickest way to do it. But my plan is working out. Revert to that. Now, when I connect you, you should connect where I want you to. Perfect. 3, click on you. See, so this goes perfectly vertical, hopefully. You are a little off-centered. Okay, that should be perfect. And then we want you to be down a little bit. And then, of course, we want you in. About right there. They should look slightly outlined. That is good enough for our main connection point. Now, all of this can come off. That can get deleted. This can go back on. Like that. And that's how I wanted the thing to look like. On the other hand, this does look very odd. How am I going to get this on a rocket? The fairing's going to be pretty huge. We did not unlock the new science. But for right now, I'm just going to Alt-Tab this. No. Alt-Tab this whole thing. No. Okay. That, like that, this temporarily. Yes, this does look a little odd, because it gets skinnier and then it gets larger again. But I'm trying to plan for larger stations. So, anyway, this is where we're going to save it for now. We're going to go out of here. We are going to go into the research and we're going to unlock those large rockets. Oh, this requires that to be unlocked. That's okay. Can I unlock this too? No, that's 300. So we could unlock one of these smaller things. Let's do specialized control. Since that's the end of a thing, and these were all... Oh, that's also an end of a thing. Unlock this, because I think this stuff would be more useful. Okay, so we barely have any science. We are going to see that that's going to be larger on either Monday or Wednesday when I get after I get around to playing this off stream. And what I'm going to do now is, of course, save the game. This is going to be save 17. And just to make sure, 92.6. 92. Good. So, normally, this is where I would say, let's go find out who we're going to raid. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do, until Burger King ends up coming, is going into a new scene I just set up, or I just changed. And we are going to make a Lego Optimus Prime. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 AM EST to 12:30 PM EST, and on Sundays from 10 AM EST to 2 PM EST.